Okay, so in the interest of time, I've already removed the stock with this screw right here. It removes very quickly and easily. There's a secondary spot. I don't know why they put two spots on this, but there's a secondary hole underneath here, probably so they can use the same stock for different markers. That's what I'm going to assume. In a moment I'm going to show you where they screwed up with this. We'll get to that in a minute. I've also removed the magazine. I know that doesn't take very much time, but still. Here's where we're at. We're going to pull this apart pretty quickly. I'm using my own tools and not tools that were provided with the marker kit. The tools that were provided with the marker kit are wonderful, normal tools. There's nothing wrong with them, but there's really no worries to worry about that. I'm using these tools because I grabbed them first. That's all. We're going to pull all of the pieces off of this. Well, quite a few of the pieces off of this. We're starting with the ASA adapter. Because we're going to move this around, we're going to pull two pieces out here. The ASA adapter is now solidly out of the loop. This uses a 3mm and 2.5mm alternately, depending on which spot you're at and what you're doing. We're going to remove the trigger frame first. We're also going to pull just to make it easier on us laying it down, I'm pulling the feed port off. Spyder is making a feed port cover for those who want just mag feed. So the reason this comes off is because there isn't a cover for this particular spot, and if you want to get it, it's not too expensive. I'll have to look. I'll put it in the notes right here, so you can take a look at that at your own leisure. I'm going to show you a quick trick here, so I don't have to grab another tool. Pretty easy, pretty simple. I'm just using a nice 1.5 hex wrench to remove this particular piece. This is your bolt catch. I'm going to put it back in the thing there to set it aside. Now we've got the trigger frame released, we're going to bring it down this far, not very far, and then we're going to pull the barrel out. The barrel comes out very easy. I like that because that makes it easy to clean out. So, you know, it's going to make it easy to run a swab down there because you can pop it out, pop it back in, and I think you can probably even leave a ball in there. The shroud is not required. We're going to pull the shroud off here. You don't have to run with the shroud if you don't want to. The sights don't do squat on this, so the included grip is completely optional. There's no point in having it, no point in worrying about it. If you want it, you want it, but you can't use it with a mask on, so there's really no point. We're just going to loosen these up. We're not going to really do a whole lot. I'm going to only loosen the front ones because we're just taking off the shroud. So we're going to use that as a fulcrum point to release the shroud from the body of the marker. There are 2 bolts and 2 nuts on each of these bolts. I'm going to pull that aside there. I'm going to push those over to here. We're leaving this in place for the sake of leaving it in place. Okay, here's the genius of this. This is the whole marker right here. It's very, very simple. This piece right here, this top rail, does come off. You don't need to remove it for any reason other than a really deep clean. So no point in removing it now. Given that we have that, in order to clean this, you have to take this off. You have to take the stock off. The stock is set in there. We're going to flip this over so you can see. The stock is set in here with this set screw. And this is the first mistake that Spyder made. This piece right here is held in with this singular piece, but they've used a set screw for the stock. Dumb move. Make this metal set the set screw into this piece here, so that all you need to do is pop this one single peg. Once you pop this peg, back end comes off. Okay, we have the spring and the spring guide embedded here. The spring guide does not come out. That's a new thing. There are no bushings to speak of until we get things moving. We're going to grab an Allen wrench. We're going to grab this right here. We're going to grab up underneath there. Here's your only bushing. We're going to set this up here, set the bushing on the spring so we don't lose it. We're not doing a full cleaning today. We're just going to make sure everything's kosher. We've already cleaned this once. Here's your striker. Here's your bolt. It's a nice long bolt. You can see I've got it nice and lubed up already. Don't need to do a whole lot. Okay? So, this is the piece. This needs to be extended. The bolt, the striker, don't come close to contact anyway. So, what's the point of saving yourself some material? Make this chunk right here aluminum or steel even. This is small. It's not going to make a whole lot of issue with the amount of space. So make that what it is. Let's put this back together real quick. We are done talking about this, but this piece here needs to be a machined piece. This one right here needs to be a machined piece, and the way they did it is fine. It just needs to be a machined piece with the spring guide in, so that when you need to clean it, it's one pin, and that way you aren't having to screw around with this. This was a major fail right here. If you're going to have it set up this way, you might as well have 3 or 4. Make this part of the requirements to get this out. Don't bother with a push pin. Make it a set screw. Major fail on the design because of that. Okay, so next failure point is this right here. If I have to remove another piece, there we go. If I have to remove another piece, I'm going to go ahead and screw this in. To get this bolt out, you failed as a manufacturer. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. This piece right here should be coming straight out the back. There is absolutely no reason that you cannot put a movable shim or something to cover that hole up if you're worried about that. You didn't do it for years. You don't do it with your current Spyder Sonics, Victors, all that stuff. It's all open on top and bolt out the back. Snack and out the back. I don't know why you bothered. Fenix does that, the Sonics does that, the Victor does that, the Extra does that. Why not these? This is not adding to the realism. This is making it harder to clean. Okay, we're going to move on again. Big, huge fail. We've determined that using a magazine and trying to fill it with a 10 round while under fire is improbable at best. I mean, you're going to have to be really good, have to have really good cover, and have to have a lot of backup. That's all there is to it at that point. This right here, this is a magfed marker. Here's where the major fail, the last major fail is. This port right here that you can see should be squared off in the back. There's plenty of room to square off this system right here and make it first strike capable. Plenty of room. Absolutely no reason why you shouldn't have done that. As a company, I would be doing everything I could to be competing with all of the market leaders. And there are several because they have little niches. Do one thing and make it capable of doing all the others. Simple as that. The first strike is magfed, and you can run regular paintballs through it. This was a major fail. You need to put the same thing in the barrel with the barrel cut off straight and the feed port on the bottom. I'm not saying doing it on top. I'm saying doing it on the bottom. Cut it straight and then use flat backed. This needs to be flattened off back here so that it meshes up correctly right here. First strike capable Spyder that has a milsim look and $30 magazines. I'm sorry, you just missed it. You missed your whole calling right there. Bam, done, over with. Sorry, Spyder, but you missed your calling as a company by not providing the whole package. Putting it back together is reverse of what you've done. We are not going to cover that in this video. If you can't handle putting it back together, you shouldn't have taken it apart. That's all there is to it. The instructions are in the manual. One last thing. In the manual, we had a jam, and we're going to leave you with this jam. In the manual, it actually mentions the jam. The problems with it jamming is on page 11 of the manual. Page 11 says, a jammed paintball. It is a known issue that you will have venturi bolt jams. Follow these steps. We won't go through them. You can read the manual. You can download it off spyder.tv. You're going to have to take this with you at every game. This is big enough. Yes, it's got a couple of different things in there, but it's big enough. We aren't going to deal with the eco valve this time. Next time we're going to actually pull this apart and look at the eco valve and measure it with some calipers, but not this time. Catch you later.